Imagine
That'd
a
be fun.
team with Zamudo and Yuji as the top jungle. Like that would be
That's what I just said.
crazy.
Yeah.
I know, but just like in tier 2 is what I meant.
Oh,
Like
in tier 2?
imagine
Oh, yeah, that team
imagine if
probably
that
win.
imagine if that was a
That team
thing.
could probably win.
They take
They'd
over the
probably win.
world.
They probably win the last NACL finals land.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Salt Mine. This is Season 7, Episode 4. We've made it to the All-Star teams. We've made it through the regular season. Maybe a little bit less regular of a release cadence, but we promised we would be back for All-Star teams once the regular season was done, and we have fulfilled that promise. I'm Gordo. I'm joined by Quax and Slayer for our semi-annual All-Stars episode. Season's done for. We know who the playoff teams are. What's your overall review on the season, guys?
Fun season. Even
Yes.
if you can talk about like the match quality, which I mean I thought was pretty high. But the content this season, ooh, like in
Yes.
my few years of being a part of the League of Legends North American ecosystem, I think that this is probably the most fun split that I've ever seen out of tier 2.
Man, I'm sick of this Quax guy, man. How many? This happened last episode too, Quax. Where didn't I like 3 different times say Quax just said what I wanted to say? We're already starting that off like this, so I guess it sounds like our all pro lists are gonna be.
We'll
pretty similar, my
alternate.
friend.
Well, I'll let you
Yeah.
talk first, and then you can steal as many of my points as I do your points, and then we just kind of balance it out a little bit.
There is an interesting dynamic clash here because when it comes to all pro lists or power rankings, usually I align really well with Gordo.
That
But
is the
now
tradition.
we're on
And
the
then I align
we're-
with TDS, so I'm
yeah.
gonna be completely alone here.
Well, but you're talking. We're on the same brainwave length right now, so
Hmm.
we'll see who I align more with. Anyways, the point I wanted to make was I do think the most prevailing fun thing about this split was the players kind of stepping up in the content department. I still very much so believe that if you want to market yourself as a player that needs to be tier 1, you need to be able to make bits, do this kind of stuff, and 2. It's just going to get more people interested in the league the more player driven we are. So it was good to see that mostly from the split. I got exposed with my power rankings because of conviction. But outside of that, yeah, I think the split went kind of to the tune we expected for the most part, and is shaping up for a fun playoffs. I think playoffs is a bit more wide open than I originally thought it would be. So
I think for top 4, that's definitely the case. I also think that the big reason why a lot of the fun player moments have been possible is player cams have been a saving grace.
Yo,
this
player
split.
cams were great. That's
Player
true.
cams, I think, might be one of the best additions to the NACL I have ever seen. It might actually take the top spot. So,
Yeah,
like, whoever's
props to-
idea it was to do that,
Yeah, I was
you
gonna
know,
say,
get that raise, king.
It's not,
or
and
queen.
it's not just the idea either. It's the ability, and I have no idea how they did it. Like, just the ability to crack the whip and make it happen. Like, we can barely get these guys to show up to the games, dude. Like, DeAndre had to play. Like, Good Boy had to play. This split. Bioster had to play this split. Like, we can barely get these guys to like show up to the games, especially because the schedule kind of sucks. And yet somehow we got 50 plus dudes to all have a webcam and turn it on and keep it on.
Well, okay, webcam is a little bit misleading. We had some people, on God, like recording themselves on their phone.
But that's like even better. Like, that's
Tomio,
even
I'm
more
looking at you.
impressive,
Tomio,
right?
I'm
Like,
looking at you.
Yeah.
Like,
better than I having cam, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like I don't know, dude. Listen, we do an interview after ACL every week, and
None of
maybe
them have
20% of the time we get a cam. Maybe.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. No.
yeah.
No,
like,
it's
It's lower than that for sure.
It's a positive proponent for League Ace. Yeah, they really stepped up and made it a priority. That
and that's
everybody
one
needs to have
dude.
a
That's
camera.
one dude who volunteers, and we can never get a cam from them. And so it's like we
Yeah.
forced 50 dudes to do it. That's I again very impressed at whoever cracked the whip and made that happen.
Yeah,
All right.
Great job.
Yeah, good little positivity. So here's the funny thing. I was about to, and apologies to those in the video who heard like a 1-second clip of me laughing. I was going to suggest that we go support to top because we always go top to support. But I just looked, and our summer 2025 All-Star teams, I had that exact same argument, and that's what we did. So now
So
we're
we
going to go
gotta
top
reverse it.
support,
Okay.
and we can
All right.
actually alternate. So glad I checked that and
You hit like the
avoided-
mental reset button, just like, all right.
Spring is top to support, summer is support to top. If we keep alternating, that is the pattern that we will fall into.
That could be like a fun trend. Yeah, I'm down for that.
If we remember, I'm one time doing this, not bothering to check away from fucking it up forever. But
Yeah, I got it. I got it
I
in
will
like
try
a
to remember.
All right.
yeah. Me and Slayer will like keep it in our. We'll use like our mental RAM, like long term mental storage RAM
So,
to
yeah,
like make
that's
sure that
going
we
to the
remember.
foyer of the mind palace right there. All right, let's start off
Mind dimension. Yeah.
with top lane then. We'll go third to first. Not gonna beat around the bush any longer. This is gonna be a long episode already, and we're starting later than we
Yep.
wanted to. So let's get into our all-star teams. I think third top is gonna be controversial. So let's kick it off. Want to just go left to right, right to left? Quax, you want to start?
Ooh, so much pressure. Yeah, I can start. My third top All Pro is Denethor.
Okay.
Okay.
I think.
I guess I got to go next. Yeah, we'll do
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
ours.
yeah.
and
Left-
then we'll,
left-
Yeah, we'll do
left to right,
reasonings
left to
after.
right.
yeah, left to
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I have K third.
And I have Hoarder.
All right.
Okay. Fun. Well,
I'm
I guess I'll just-
surprised. Let's start with
Are you-
Quax. I'm surprised to see Denethor this far down. I didn't think we would see any cases of Denethor this far down.
okay. Yeah. So
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I think that it's pretty apparent that Denethor and mobility are oftentimes like the main reason, the main driving force of this team. And I think that if we're talking about like most valuable to a team and just being able to perform consistently, Denethor usually has that down. I think split after split, this guy gets a lot better. One of the most common issues that I kind of had with Denethor initially when we kind of saw him break out into tier 2, go from that collegiate jump into the NACL, was that it felt like the team and him were just like the same sides of a magnet. Like, it didn't feel like Winthrop properly knew how to facilitate him, and Denethor wasn't really giving them a lot of windows in order to appropriately make an impact in the top lane, right? And really get him to that next level of carry. More often than not, it would just be Denethor shitting on someone in lane and then being able to just kind of take the entire game by himself. I feel like that kind of a style still exists, but he is easier to work around now. And I feel like is a much more consistent than even just a year ago. So like the laning phase has always been good, but it kind of feels like the team play is something that was a little bit lacking for Denethor. And I think that big improvement has easily catapulted him into the third All Pro. Not to say that he couldn't go higher, because it sounds like you guys might want to be putting him higher.
Yeah.
But I just think that top lane was frankly extremely stacked this split. I said it at the beginning of the split that this is probably the most stacked role in the NACL. I will slightly rectify that statement to say jungle probably takes that cake, but
yeah.
top lane certainly isn't in the lower half of stacked roles.
No.
I
So
agree.
keeping the Denethor convo going, I have Denethor second.
I also have Denethor second.
Yeah.
Denethor is my second player. Yeah. So
Cool. So just to keep everybody transparent while we talk about the player. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I think I've been thinking about this a lot while making these teams. Like, I think if you created like median players in the NACL at every position, and you made a team with like a median top laner and a median bot laner and Wilson, Papa, Kim down, I think that team would get relegated like 100% of the time. Denethor and mobility do so much to keep this team alive. I think there was more weight on Denethor's shoulders this split because I think not having Sword, gave Sword already wasn't like a big carry mid laner guy, but
No, he's facilitator.
but
yeah.
going from Sword to Papa moved that needle. It's a spectrum, and it moved further to the facilitator line with the introduction of Papa to this lineup. So I think they really needed to lean on Denethor a lot harder this split, and he showed up for them. They have a very clean fifth, about as clean of a fifth as you can get. They are they're 10-0 against teams below them and 0-8 against teams above them, right? I
Yeah.
think that's how their game score ends up.
Something like that.
Yeah, so I think it's exactly that. So they are dead in the middle, but I think it's very much on the shoulders of Denethor that they end up there in the middle.
I
You know,
agree.
he's the highest damage percent top laner.
Yep.
Really much more reliable now than he used to be, which I think Quax is kind of getting at there. And the team needed him to be this split. So for them to, kind of hold their place right in the middle in a split where I think their roster suffered a little bit with the mid lane swap, and I think only 35 for Kim Down ended up being a bit of a side grade. It was really huge for him.
Yeah.
I'd say
So.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna round out the Denethor conversations because I personally had a lot of deliberation going myself between my second and third spot. So I guess I can just say it now. Hoarder and Denethor. I went back and forth a bit because there was a couple factors. I will say now with All Pro, I kind of try and look at All Pro like the selections as a pretty individualistic award, as in like the team's performance, like record wise and standings wise, doesn't necessarily affect it as much as it would for me for like MVP, right? That being said, it was interesting to me because obviously Hoarder gets the win over Denethor with like a 2-0 series. I think he also plays a decently clean series, but that was also Denethor like playing a Scion game where they kind of didn't let Denethor do his carry stuff. So at first I actually had Hoarder on second team, like looking at that kind of stuff. But Gordo, I'm glad you brought that stat up because I think it's like super influential that a top laner has like nearly 26% of his team's damage, especially in a meta where, there are a lot of prevalent tanks that are up there and available. That stat really sung out to me. And then, like you're mentioning, I think Denethor just does a lot of heavy lifting in closing out games to me on some of his patented champions. When it comes to Hoarder, I guess I'll pivot because we said a lot about Denethor, and I'll just go into my Hoarder points.
Sure.
For me, Hoarder was probably if we're comparing Hoarder to Denethor, which I obviously am doing here with my list, I felt like Hoarder maybe was a bit more reliable of a laner when it comes to stuff like gold difference of 15, CS of 15. Hoarder is a bit higher up in those stats compared to Denethor. He's actually ahead of Denethor in both of those, particularly the CS difference. He's top 3 in the league, which is pretty significant to me. And I also really appreciated Hoarder willing to kind of try new things and adapt his champion pool further. We got to see him try out the Vayne top finally in a game up
Won
against
both
Maryville.
those games, by the way.
Yeah, did win both of those games too. The Vayne game against Maryville definitely wasn't the cleanest, but it definitely won and it had its moments. So I think Hoarder has had a fine split. I think the biggest thing for me with Hoarder this split was that we didn't see him like regress from the really inspiring summer split he had, right? So I would say he had like a similar level of split. I think if you want to get nitpicky, maybe it's a little less impactful. But the fact that he's staying up to like a high octane top lane developmental piece for people to look at, and he's brought this over to another split, is really promising. I think a lot of what you saw Hoarder do well last year, he has brought over into this year, and has been a really reliable force for Supernova in the top side. I do think that, like, K was a good shout for me, and like that's the guy that I left off, Gordo. So for me, I think like the laning and the impact Hoarder has on his team versus K not having to do necessarily too much with Scary Jerry, Spyrax, and Yuji doing everything they have to do was what swayed it for me at the end of the day. But I respect the K pickup. I think he also had an improved split, especially laning for him as well.
Yeah, my K shout. Well, first of all, Quax, do you have either of those guys on your teams?
So I have Denethor second,
Okay.
or I have Denethor third, Hoarder second.
Okay, that's fine. I think that's.
I have it for a little bit of a different reason, but I'll let you go first, Gordo.
Okay, shout out the K logic.
Yeah, so I mean, Hoarder ends up off my list. I agree with pretty much everything you said. I think the main difference maker for me with K, because I get the argument that like they're going to be a bot centric team, so K like doesn't necessarily have to do as much, but like we're going to give a lot of praise to like Fiji across this season. Like we already have given a lot of praise to Fiji throughout the season for like playing hyper weak side, getting low resources, holding it down to focus elsewhere, losing gracefully, all this stuff. It's been like a topic that we talk about a lot in just the context of episodes we've done so far this season. And like K is in that same resource position, but he's just like he's just winning lanes anyway. Like he has super low counter pick rate. He gets super low resources. He gets the least gold of pretty much like any top laner in the league, I think, except for Fiji. But he just like ends up at 15 and with the most solo kills in the league and like just winning most of his lanes. I think he had to play one-on-one most of the season, and he outperformed the vast majority of the competition doing that. I think it was a really impressive individual split from K. Like, yeah, the team doesn't like need him to do much, but it inspires a lot of faith that with a different team composition around him or with a different meta that they could play through him and have a lot of success that way. Like I think if K's team played for him the way that Denethor's team has to play for him, I think we would get to see a very impressive K based on what we saw this season.
And that's exactly kind of why I put Hoarder at second. While you've got Denethor, who is one of kind of the main characters, I guess, of Winthrop University. Like we said, him and Mobility really kind of are the captains of that ship. Supernova has a ton of players who are resource heavy and are capable of carrying. And I think that Hoarder's ability to stand out among his teammates in a team that has a ton of very flashy players, like Shochi is flashy, Levitate is flashy, Music is, in my opinion, one of the more underrated players of the split. I know, like I said, we have a lot of strong junglers, and maybe Music makes some of our top threes, maybe he doesn't, but like he still is a very good jungler. I think that should go without saying. And so Hoarder's ability to have similar-ish stats to Denethor. He kind of falls behind him a little bit in most stats if you actually do look. Usually Denethor is there to one-up him in most of the big laning stats, but I think Hoarder's ability to still have a relatively even stat line compared to Denethor while doing it on a team that isn't necessarily constantly focused on getting him specifically ahead means that he's got more of a little bit more individuality. And I think that is something to totally value. That's why I put him second. But if I'm being completely honest with myself, this is 2A and 2B. I think that these guys are really good. But boys, we know exactly who number one is.
It's a Zamudo sweep, yes?
It's a Zamudo sweep.
It's a Zamudo sweep. Best player in the NACL.
Well, we'll see where we get on that.
Maybe. We'll see.
But I agree.
Definitely a contender.
Yeah, definitely an MVP contender. I mean, huge beneficiary of the eye test, right? Like, I think you can watch almost any game this guy's in and recognize that he's a cut above the rest of the top laners in the league. He's the MVP leader for top lanes, wins the most MVPs out of anybody in top lane. He's the GD at 15 leader by a huge margin. This guy's up like 1k gold at 15 usually. I think the real number is like 800 something.
It's so funny. It's watching Energy's games are so funny because sometimes in laning phase, they'll be like down gold. Like 4 out of 5 of their players will be behind like 500 to 800 gold at like 10 to 15 minutes. And then you just look up and you see top lane's gold difference, and it's always Zamudo is up like 1k. It's happened like a few times where all of NRG are behind a little bit in gold, and it's totally made up for because Denethor or Zamudo just has a chasm against his lane counterpart at 15. So
yeah,
this guy's insane. Like, if he wasn't getting like absolutely screwed over by government, then he would be in the LCS, and
I hope he gets.
That's literally fact.
Yeah, I really hope when the dust settles with this, visa situation, that CBLOL takes another look at him if he's willing to go play there.
No. I don't bring him.
I just don't think. I think
at
this, like, for 2026, I think it is unlikely that Zamudo's, or I guess for 2027, I think it is unlikely that Zamudo's visa situation will be resolved.
Probably.
And I'm sure,
Let me dream. Okay.
He's got people much more knowledgeable about this stuff in his life who can advise him on that, I'm sure. But based on my understanding on what getting rejected for a green card means, or specifically a work visa. Yeah, green card's the wrong word there. But based on my knowledge of what getting rejected for a work visa means, I think it's very, very unlikely that he'll be able to just rock up in 27. But we'll have to see. If he can't, though, EU, Brazil,
Somewhere. Just anywhere.
Yeah, I hope he gets to continue
it's-
playing League of Legends competitively and doesn't just go back to Maryville.
Yeah, I hope he's playing at the tier 1 level. That's the most important. It's a weird spot to be in because we want to prop up NA and we hate EU and all this stuff, and CB LOL we don't like because they've been botting us at the tier 1 level. But yeah, I'm of the opinion with you there, Gordo, that this guy just needs to be tier 1 for 2027 or.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know what the
it's
fuck
just
we're
one of
doing.
those things that's like we spend so much time yelling at LCS GMs, but like this is a little bit outside of the scope of the show to yell at, so you kind of just
Yeah.
have to treat it as part of the world for right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also
and-
kind of shitty too, because like if you look at a lot of the top teams in the LCS, most of them, their top laner is like one of their most stable pieces. Like the C9 has Thanatos, like Team Liquid has Morgan. You're probably not going to get a spot on those top teams, and like I feel like a player of Zamudo's caliber kind of just deserves to be on those top teams. So
Although you
it
can really-
definitely feels bad.
Lion wanted him. Like you could really feel
I
the
know.
want for
Yeah,
Zamudo in
yeah.
this
I
Lion
know.
team,
I
especially
mean,
with all
now
the-
they're having top
with
lane
all
trail
the
like
Castle
Design
stuff
Castle
going
and
on,
shit.
you could feel
And
that this team
Castle
wants Zamudo.
has not won a game yet on Lion as
Yeah.
of recording this. He keeps losing.
Yeah, this team
Yeah, it sucks.
getting to mold a top laner who can play a harder carry style throughout this
He'd be
season.
so good on Lion.
You
Oh
could
my
just see
God.
that's what I can't promise it would have worked out. Like I talked about in the preseason, like we've never seen inspired with a rookie top and stuff like that before. So it would have been an experiment, but you could tell it's an experiment they wanted to run. Like this team would.
Yeah.
This team wishes that the Zamudo stuff had worked out right now. They are definitely not looking back, being like, "Woo!" Like, thank God it worked out. Like they're like, it did not work out. I wish Zamudo was fucking here.
Yeah.
I say this with the utmost respect to him, but if they can turn around Isles, I think that they can work with Zamudo.
Well, there's also the very obvious hope. There's the somewhat possible world where Zumo just promotes into the LCS, right? So
I mean,
it
but then
definitely
he'll run into the same problem though. He'll
Yeah,
need to
he
be
will, he
employed
will,
for the
he will,
LCS, and then he'll need to get a visa to play in California.
Yeah, we'll see. Who knows? So
Yeah.
we'll cross that bridge when we get there. For now, Zamudo is in the category of so good. Why isn't he playing tier 1? And the split reflects it. The one little point that I'd like to make that I find fun is that Zamudo, when he came into the league on Wildcard, he was known as a guy that could play so many different champions, and I'm glad to see this is kind of still reflected in this split in particular, as he has, I believe this is, yes, 10 unique champions played this split, more than any other top laner so far this split, and he's got everything, man. He's got most games played on Rumble, you expect that. He's got a positive win rate on Scion, but he also breaks out the Jace and decimates people. He plays a Zahen game pretty well. He even gets the Rek'Sai top into a W. So the guy can play every type of style. Yeah, not much more need to be said about the best top laner in the NACL.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good way to end it off.
Pretty good, pretty good. Let's get into jungle then. Slayer, do you want to lead us off with your third team jungler?
Sure, yeah. My third team jungler is Zamudo's teammate, Kizno.
Wow. That's fair. I come in, I gave it to Music. I found third really tough to give out. I am going to stake a claim on Music here for number 3.
I gave it to Dardoch.
Whoa. Dardoch at 3.
Dardoch at 3. Am I explaining my reasoning first?
If you want, sure.
Sure.
Yeah, sure,
There's
sure,
no
sure,
rules.
sure. So I feel like Dardoch, this is kind of the, I don't want to necessarily say reverse logic of Hoarder, but like I feel like Dardoch is super instrumental to his team, but at the same time, I do think that some of his teammates aren't able to fully pick up what he kind of gives. Like, and this is not a dig to any of the CCG players, but I do think that the overall level of CCG is lower than the junglers of the teams that I'll be putting at second and first. So I generally think that Dardoch is a super good player, a super good shot caller, but is sometimes limited in his capacity to actually make plays around the map. This is kind of a fun argument that we have with, like, you know, a little bit of LPL speak here, but like with Tarzan, right? Where sometimes his lay-ins limit his ability to really find plays on the map. And I do think that Dardoch is sometimes in a similar boat. Yeah, that's my reasoning. I do think statistically he's extremely good. But I look at him and I watch him play and I'm just like, all right, I wish he would take this, like he would move the needle just a little bit further sometimes in the game. Like I feel like CCG are relatively clean in their wins. They could be even cleaner though.
Yeah. I think I agree with that logic. I have Dardoch second for the record.
I also have Dardoch second.
Well,
I think
some things don't change, Slayer.
yeah, some things don't indeed. Yeah, I don't know. I just think like Dardoch has done wizardry in some of these early split games. Like there are single games that I watch that I say, okay, CCG tried to lose this game, and Dardoch said no. Like there were Nocturne performances that were absolutely disgusting. His game knowledge was super on point with like there was a lot of contention about level 6 timers on, you know, Scuttle Crab, responsive raptors, and then taking dragons. Like understanding the smite upgrade stuff was like peak Dardoch. And again, I will always bump Dardoch a bit in my mind because I just know that his value as a player will always at this point in his career transcend his skills on the Rift, if you know what I mean, right? Like he is, you hear the like only 35 posted the highlights with the in-game comms of some of the CCG games, and all you hear is Dardoch, man. Like he's just the driving force of that team.
He also doesn't die, by the way. Like
he does not die. If he's gonna die, it's gonna be for a valuable reason. I agree, Quax.
He keeps that gold.
Yeah, he hoards it, and then, you know, I guess I kind of lost my train of thought. Yeah, so he's very clearly in all those comms. Oh yeah, if Yuji were in tier 1, well, this is gonna spoil. I don't really care. I think it's obvious. If Yuji were in tier 1, I think like to me, Dardoch would clearly be the best jungler in the league this split. That's my personal opinion with everything he brings to the table. But that's not the reality. So he's on my second team.
Yeah, he's on my second team too. I agree with most of what's been said. I think, 2 for 2 now with, I think, Quax, you just want to see more. You know,
I feel like we could see more if he was just unlocked.
Yeah, you're just
putting
like
further.
Strong players on weak teams. You're like counting a little lower, which is fine. Like that's
I don't even necessarily think that CCG are a weak team. I just think that
team, right? I don't think
right. Like again,
too. Yeah.
Again, compared to the junglers of the teams that I'm putting in second and first, CCG are the lowest. So that spoils it a little bit. Don't really care. But like that is my reasoning. I think that kind of like what we said for Denethor, like Dardoch kind of tops the charts in terms of stats. But it's just the functionality on the team and like what he's working with that I like the context almost of his role is something that I'm really taking into account.
Yeah.
So just to wrap. Oh yeah. I was gonna wrap back. I was gonna talk about Kisno for a second here because we're a little bit ahead of ourselves. For me, what made Kisno a very powerful pick for me at third team All Pro is my read on the meta right now has been, and I'm sure Quax can support this, and we get a little LPL coded about it, is there's a lot of invade. You know, there's a lot of invade meta. There's a lot really riding on the fact about how well can you farm early, how quickly can you get to level 6, right? Like your early game as a jungler is the most important part of the game compared to the early games of mid laners. I think even at bottom lane at this point, I think it's even more important towards the jungle. So for me, I look at Kisno and I look at his stats. 72% of his games he's ahead in camps out of the early game. He is always ahead in gold and a significant XP boost outside the first 50 minutes, outside his first couple of clears. And nearly 40% of first bloods found for NRG, Kisno was a part of. So I just think for me, I'm giving Kisno third team All Pro because I think he has been the cleanest early game jungler out of maybe even everybody. I mean, maybe
in a meta where early game is super important, right?
Yeah. So for me, that's why I feel like Kisno deserves a spot here. But Gordo, I'm not gonna steal your thunder. But I'll tell you now. I see why you like music here at third team.
Yeah,
Well.
I have
Yeah.
Kisno as an honorable mention. Funny enough, I have Griffin as an honorable mention too. Like I think that
No,
guy
that's a
had a
good
really
shout.
good split as well.
He did.
I had a lot of junglers I wish I could have stuck in here.
It's a damn good junglers to
Yeah,
split.
damn
So
good junglers this
The
split.
top
But yeah,
5 junglers
I
in
just
this
wanted to
league were all
give I
really
wanted to
well
give
played.
credit to Music. Like at the end of the day, I think Music's like back on form. This is a lot more like he did on those summer Blue Otter runs where he was able to make a big difference in that team's success. I think he's reading the map super well. I think he's really good on the counter gank. I think he's really good on the cross map. I think he just makes really good decisions across the board to guarantee that Supernova is going to be set up for success. I think just a really solid jungle split out of him. And Slayer and I talked a little bit about this before we started recording, Quax. Like it's for a second place team, it's weird. It was weird to me how difficult I found it to put Supernova players really high on my all-star teams. And I think part of that is like Music. Like he's like a glue that just keeps the team together and keeps the team in favorable positions all the time, even though like I don't feel like, even though after all is said and done with this team is top 2, I still don't feel like anybody was like individually smashing their opponents all the time. I think it's just like the discipline to always be making good decisions is gives them all those wins, and that I attribute a lot of to Music.
yeah, I mean that definitely makes sense. I can agree with that.
So who's your second team?
Yeah,
I mean,
who's your
Slayer,
number
you literally stole all my fucking point. So there you go.
Ha-ha!
Who's your number 2, Kisno?
You got me. Yeah, it's Kisno. Kisno's my number 2.
Okay. Word.
Everything that Slayer said, I had written down pretty much.
80 carry player, by the way.
The only thing I will say is I do think that Kisno's ability to play out engages is really fun in the late game. Like we see him in the early game, like you said, just kind of demolish everybody. But then, like, once we go to the mid to late game fights, Kisno is usually one of the guys that's going in first, and he's found some really fun angles in a lot of the games. Like, this is a compliment that I think we gave Kryra back when he was in tier 2, where Kryra would go on things like the Vi, he would, bust out the pocket Zac, and he would just go in. He would find these crazy angles to start a fight, and I think Kisno has kind of parroted that same commodity or that same strength in this split. So wanted to highlight that. Think that's probably the only thing that Slayer didn't say directly that I wanted to point out.
No, Quax, I like that shout. 2 big engaged junglers in my mind that he played. He has 3 games of Malphite, 3 games of Wukong.
Yeah.
He's 6-0 on those 2 champions. He's an 11 KDA on Wukong.
He's a beast.
So,
I like,
yeah.
again, players that should be in tier 1, Kisno's definitely on that list for me.
Yeah, it's just stupid that our number 1 guy exhausts these conversations because of
Not even close.
nobody willing to pay for. I guess I don't want to hash this up much further, Gordo. But the issue for UG is a little different in the aspect that right now it just seems like nobody was willing to pay
for the import
slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah,
But UG is all of our first team junglers. We don't need to spend too much time on this, but guys,
The history
shocking.
of this show is the history of glazing UG in a lot of ways.
Shocking, the guy's an MVP candidate again, and he's also disgustingly gapping everybody he plays against for the most part. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's all I'll say.
Just look at, go on to okay, this is something fun for the audience to do. Go on to gol.gg, go to NACL, go to junglers, or sort by junglers, like player stats, sort by junglers, and then just go through all the categories. UG is on top in almost every single one.
Just look at KDA alone. If you go look at one stat, look at the KDA.
Yeah, so his KDA average is 8.3. The second highest is Music with 5.2. Those are both KDAs, but it just shows how much of a step above UG is. This guy's an absolute beast. Pay your fucking import tax if you have to. This guy is so worth it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I've been pretty vocal that I wish Team Liquid had kept him and chosen not to import top. I think No hate to Hambach. I think he's worked out all right, but it surprises me greatly that Sentinels choose to go with him instead of UG. We'll see what this this next Dignitas rebuild looks like. I would like them to take a
No,
look
no,
at
no, 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 no. UG, don't do it, bro. Don't do it, bro.
it's
We
listen,
gotta get him in tier 1 Quax, man.
Ah,
We just got it at this point.
Yeah.
Like at this point, I would like. I was about to say like Dignitas. Like if he gets out Dignitas, good. Dignitas, good. If a EU team wants to pay the import tax, dude, get him over there.
It's
Like
not-
I'm
it's not
just
even an
sick
import
and
in
fucking
EU.
tired. Oh
No,
yeah, there
he's
you
not.
go. You know,
He's
so
not an
just-
import here. He's an import here. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's so
It's so
ridiculous, so-
stupid. It's so stupid.
It's
no
so-
European country, Mongolia.
If there isn't even like if we get to 2027 and like Zamudo and Yuji
Are still here.
are still like not playing tier 1 at any level, like man, I'm just gonna flip my shit.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done, bro.
Similarly, CBLOL, just take a look.
Or
man.
CBLO, yeah.
Like, just-
Yeah.
Yeah, like you guys are getting more internationals. You're finding more success against NA. Good stuff. I
Zamudo
know
and
y'all.
Tatsu would
I
feed
know y'all
families.
aren't above importing, man. I know. Fucking
Zamudo,
Weiser
Tatsu
and
team, oh,
Miru
shit.
and Young Jay and Bull and Peach and Bao and Zest and Feisty are all in your playoffs, man. I know you guys are important out there. I know Kai Wing's in there too.
Yeah, Kai Wing's. I was about to say Kai Wing's fun.
Kai Wing's over there. I know you guys are still doing imports, man. It's not. Listen, you guys may have a better dev system, but you're still important over there. Take a look at our boys. Save Zamudo and Yuji, man. Dude, imagine a team that Yuji, Zamudo, and then Brazilian bot side. Honestly, that would be sick.
Imagine a
That'd be fun.
team with Zamudo and Yuji as the top jungle. Like
That's
that
what,
would be
that's
crazy.
what I just said. Yeah.
I know, but just like in tier 2 is what I meant.
Oh,
like,
in tier 2? Oh, yeah, that team. would
Imagine,
probably
if that,
win.
imagine if that was a thing.
That team could probably win.
They take
They'd
over
probably
the
win.
world.
They probably win the last NACL finals LAN.
Yeah,
Probably
something like that.
something like that.
All right, let's get
Hopefully
to
not
mid
the
lane.
last forever, but I mean it's been the last for now. So
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Uh,
The most recent.
most recent. There
Let's
you
get to mid. All right.
You start Gordo. We'll go
Mid-
Gordo
sure,
yeah,
Quax
mid-
me.
Yeah,
Gordo Quax me.
I found mid to be relatively straightforward. I have Shochi third team.
Quax.
I've showed you 13.
I have Insanity 13.
Whoa! All right.
I don't think that's a hot take. I actually wrestled with Insanity and Shochi for a little bit.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll address that when we get to it. But yeah, man, it's White Boy Spring, dude. I'm really I'm excited for with Shochi and Insanity. But Shochi in particular right now, yeah. Great split for him. I haven't seen him like put up a highlight reel like this since like the Cincinnati Fear days. I'm really happy to see him be making like some of those really strong mechanical moves. Felt like he had to lean on that a little bit more than I might like. I think some of his positional errors, are not to be totally ignored, but I think he still had a pretty strong split all in all. I think he and Music were one of the better mid-jungle duos in the league for sure. I think that was another big part of Supernova's success. And all in all, very clean, very good in lane too. I think this was his best laning split in recent memory. It felt like that had started to become a little bit of an issue of his, but really cleaned it up a lot this split.
Yeah. He's definitely the honorable mention. He's the one that I was grappling with here for third.
So Insanity's third and Shochi's not on your list at all.
Shochi is not on my list.
Wow.
Shochi's not on my list.
I'm not surprised about that. I think
know
our
who's
second
up
and
there.
first should be.
We'll discuss it.
I personally think second and first, like I guess I think second and first can be interchangeable about where you put them, but I think they both have to be up there. But we'll get to that. We'll get there in a second. For me, I think the way I assess this, back to talking about like the individual aspect of All Pro, I think that this Conviction team crashes and burns so bad, even without Insanity, and that is also saying that Insanity does take a bit of a step back this split. I think. This is like the what's the regular split Insanity meme. Now we're in spring, so it's like spring regular split Insanity. Like people like to say he doesn't seem as locked in. But the thing that people need to remember is like a step down Insanity is still like a really damn good mid laner.
I think if Insanity wasn't performing this split, Conviction would be in a way worse spot.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
I think they might be in relegation battle. Personally.
Yeah, so I have Insanity
Ooh.
first team, and he's the only Conviction player I have named at all.
Oh, so you have a first
Wow.
team. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
well,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
I guess this probably actually ties back to the fact that I don't have well, no, actually, never mind. Doesn't have anything to do with that. But forgot I was saying anything. But yeah, dude, I don't know.
Okay, you talk about
I
Insanity,
actually
man,
feel
'cause
like this is. I don't really feel like this was especially Spring Insanity. I think this guy was on point game after game. It's hard for me to think of a bad game that he had this split. I think he had some crazy Anivia games in there that are mostly where my mind goes to. I think he did a great deal to try to, get this team some wins. I think they had a lot of very close series. I think they're a better team than their record reflects, and I think it's mostly because Insanity is the best mid in the league. I don't know, dude. I think this guy's crazy.
I think
I think his stats took a dip. I don't
They
know.
did.
I think his stats took a dip from compared to like another version of Insanity, but I still feel like he's still like, I don't know, he's still like really high up there. He's still, I think, pretty. I think he's probably top 4.
He's still...
I'm glancing at him right now. He's like top 4 in everything, which I guess is not like up to standard for Insanity, but.
Well, and so I mean, you were talking kind of about the Anivia. I also think that like his Syndra was one of the best in the
was huge
league.
too.
So
yeah,
his
Yep.
And like he was kind of a 2-trick of these champions.
That's fair.
And this is part of the reason kind of why I don't have him on my top 3, because even though I think Insanity had some really good performances, we kind of said it, like it's not the Insanity level that we're kind of used to. And I also felt like they basically put him on Anivia, Syndra, TF duty, like basically every game.
For the record, I think, and this is probably an argument against me, but I'll bring it up anyway. I think he chooses to be in those positions. He has the highest counter pick rate of any.
That's fair. That's fair.
In the league. So like he is counter picking almost every game, and he is choosing these champions.
But I do feel like part of what makes Insanity so much fun, historically, is his ability to have that killer instinct, right? Where you can put him on some of these more aggressive mids, like the Aurora, for instance, or even some of the melee mids that he's kind of good at. Like he actually has a pretty banger Silas, in my opinion. We didn't really get to see that this split, and I was a little bit bummed. Yeah. So I think that he is the reason why the Conviction boat is currently afloat. But I mean, there's only so much that I can say about him, just again, given the context of his role on the team, right? I'll keep hearkening back to that point that kind of I apply to my personal rankings for top 3 players.
Yeah. And again, it's like, I do think it's his choice, but it's like, yeah, he's not getting to play like the Auroras and the Azirs and the Rises because he is not picking until the end of the draft. So he is playing into those champions rather than playing those champions most of the time. So I don't know if that's an argument for or against him, but I do think like that's where some of that, like, you mentioned wanting to see Aurora. Like I think he's playing against Aurora a lot because that is like a strong blindable mid laner, and this guy is looking to choose second.
Yep. No, that's
all right.
That's fair.
So second, I'm curious. So second team all pros, because none of us have said ours.
Yeah. So I assume
Gordo, we know you.
I would expect to see
Shoji.
an Insanity in here somewhere from Quax. For me, it's
Insanity's not on his list.
Oh,
no.
All right. Well, for me, it's Spyrax, which I assume
Spyrax is
first.
Spyrax is my second.
Wow. All right.
So Gordo and I have the identical second teams right now.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Quax, you're second?
I have Phi Mini second.
Okay, and you have Spyrax first, I assume?
Yeah.
And I have Phi Mini first.
Wow. This guy didn't even play a third of the games, right?
Yes, and Gordo, why? Thank you for the easy transition, ladies and gentlemen. If the one biggest benefit of the fact that NRG decided to split time with Zero and Phi Mini is that we really got to see full, clear picture of how much impact 5-Mini actually has in the team's wins, right? So NRG looked markedly a lot shakier with a rookie mid laner coming fresh out of solo queue. I do not want to use this as a dig onto Zero. My point here is, when we saw 5-Mini come back in, this NRG team was disgusting. And 5-Mini, hats off, my friend. This was a wonderful split. Some of it, of course, is buffed up by the fact he is now playing on a much better team. Like his top laner is Zamudo, like Speaka's on this team. I'm not going to pretend like that isn't a reality. But his laning, man, was just so impressive to me this split. I really saw the killer instinct that Quax was talking about earlier in this split. It was amazing. His gold differential is the highest of any of the mid laners. His CS different, or actually, I think Bradley's actually a little bit higher. His second most is XP differential is massive. His CS different is massive. He also has the pop-off highlight moments. He has a pentakill this split. His KDA is the highest. He's at a 6.1. Like, this was a very awesome split here from 5-Mini, even if he had such limited moments. But Gordo, for me, what you said is what really swayed me, is that this NRG team, from game to game, looked a lot more mortal to me. But when 5-Mini comes in, they were running opponents over. And they were running opponents over because both their solo lanes were just ungodly levels of elite. So for me, that basically decided for me that 5-Mini and Zamudo had to be my first team top lane and mid laners, because they have had wonderful splits. And it's awesome to see this from 5-Mini. And I hope he keeps it up going into playoffs. And maybe we'll see him just earn a more permanent spot in the summer split when stakes are a little bit higher. And we'll get some more tape on him then.
I hope. 5-Mini is, in my opinion, the future of the mid lane role in North America.
I agree with that. Yeah.
It's great to see him off to a start like this.
Yeah, I like 5-Mini a lot. I don't mean to demean him by leaving him off my list. It's funny though that I like the split. I feel like I draw like a different conclusion from, though, in that like I feel like, again, I'm not trying to demean Zero either, but like Zero is a guy right out of solo queue, like with basically no comp experience, and like the fact that this team can put in Zero and still like go 500 and like look really strong in I think most of their showings, because Zero also played some tough opponents if I recall correctly. I'd have to double check who exactly he played against, but
I think he played against Dorado.
He played against Citadel,
Dorado.
Blue Otter, and Dorado. So never mind. He played the easiest matchups of the entire season.
and who wiped down the harder matchups, Gordo?
Yes. Yeah. No, never mind. That's
Exactly.
totally an argument for you.
My logic is kind of
check this
opposite
until
yours,
now,
funnily enough.
But I think my point is still relatively the same. That I think the fact that this team can put in Zero and still be pretty good is like representative of like just how strong the pieces around them are. I agree. Like I think 5-Mini looks good in lane. I think he clearly looks improved from the last time he was in the league, in the laning phase in particular, against a lot of like 1-for-1 opponents. But yeah, like I think the fact that this team is like fucking around and not even starting the same, like it's starting different mid, a decent chunk of the time, like just knocks 5-Mini a little bit down for me. In what is, I think, a relatively tight race. And I gotta just mostly attribute it to eye test. I just feel like I got a lot more out of Insanity and Spyrax, like individually. I think 5-Mini plays solidly and properly, but I am not seeing like that individual playmaking that you guys are referring to. And maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just missing some plays. Maybe my memory is just a little skewed. But yeah, I don't know. I still think he had a great growth split. I still have really high hopes for him in the future. I just don't think he was top 3 this split for me.
That's fair. I do think, again, limited games, but his champion pool, he wasn't really playing a lot of playmakers in the games.
No, like a lot of Rise, a lot of
like it was a 1 Hui game, 2 Victor games, majority Rise games, and then 3 Bell games. The only games we got to get creative with were the Aurora. So, let's talk about Spyrax though for a second. I don't know how this guy. It seems like this guy is like done, and then he comes back.
Yeah,
and then he looks just as good as he's looked every single damn year he's played.
Yeah, I think this his generation of mids just got absolutely
shafted.
I think they got absolutely shafted by a couple of things. Like I think Spyrax is of the same generation as like Copy, who's another
Copy,
mid.
5Fire, yeah.
5Fire is
Bradley,
I think the
right,
generation
too?
before.
You think it's
Is
okay.
He's Bradley. The
I
Bradley
think
generation,
Bradley's
right?
around that gen, maybe a little bit after. And I'm not talking about age. I'm just talking about like the years
When they
came
popped up.
When they were a potential tier 1 prospect, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm trying to like figure out why, or if there even is like a real why. It might just be like,
Imports.
this was peak import era, right? This is when, some of those long time import mids really started to get their residency. Also, JoJo Pune also blew past these guys like they were standing still,
Yeah.
which was also rough during that kind of
Yeah.
period of
And
time.
now Spyrax has the opportunity as the Team Canada mid representative to fucking do it to JoJo.
They're gonna start JoJo, brother. I'm sorry. They are smoking crack if they do not start JoJo. That guy's
I know. I'm just fucking around.
Vedius's best player in EU, man. Hey, come on. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think Spyrex just got an unlucky shake at it. It does seem like I agree with Slayer, like he's kind of on his way out, but he's just an immensely talented player. He's just really fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great split from Spyrax. I almost wanted to put him first, but I felt like Maryville was getting a little overrepresented. And, I feel like I gotta give like he's got UG privilege, man. He gets to play with UG.
He has UG privilege. I mean, I feel like Spyrax has been kind of able to do exactly what we've been kind of complimenting Fimony on, but with obviously more games, right? As he is the uncontested mid laner of his team and doesn't share time with anyone. But then at the same time, I feel like has more of a defined pool than Fimony. And well, Fimony has his own set of champions, right? That I think he's really good at. Like, I really associate things like the Pocket Hui from Fimony is something that you can't not associate with him. But then like, it's hard to put a champion on Spyrax because he's so damn good at just about all of them. So I feel like that flexibility and being consistent in that flexibility is something that just due to Fimony's noviceness in competition, we haven't really gotten to see from him too much yet. I don't doubt that we're going to eventually see it, but I do think it is the contributing factor that at least puts Spyrax above Fimony for me.
Yeah, that's valid.
No.
I'm really hanging on my whole. I really hang my hat on Fimony's laning and the fact that I think RG looked like a lot more beatable without him. Which again, Gordo makes a good point. Was expected with Zero not having a lot of experience, but that really just swayed it for me. Spyrax, yeah, it is impossible to ban this guy out, and it is very hard to ever get a meta that will kind of make him feel like he can't have impact.
Yeah.
Spyrax, go chase another. Let's go chase some more trophies, my friend.
Yes,
that's all
please
I've got to
do.
say.
All right. Let's get to bot lane. I found bot lane crazy challenging. Like I found it.
Bot lane was hard for me.
I found it really hard. Like I think I picked my 3 guys without too much trouble, but I found it very tough to put them in order. One of them might be a little controversial. We'll see. Quax, you want to lead us off?
Even now, as I read off this list, I'm not really sure.
Getting a little sweaty, a little nervous. Let's see.
Like, dude,
I think third. I legitimately think like third for me personally. Third team, you could argue.
You could argue multiple
4
players.
guys. Like
I think I could argue a couple of guys for third. For
Yeah.
Sure.
So I am arguing Levitate.
Okay.
For third.
I think that's fair.
Respect.
I have.
I
Oh, here. Let's
fucking love
let's
that.
get him out of
fucking
here.
love
I have
that guy.
Cody's son.
All right.
Wow. Cody's son.
That's not surprising at all. I was, yeah.
I have mobility.
Ooh,
Oh my
all
God.
right.
Okay. All right. We're getting somewhere. All right.
Yeah.
That's spicy mobility.
Who wants to go first? We all have different answers.
You know, I guess I'll quickly go over mobility because I think a lot of the points with Denethor, like we were making about Denethor, Gordo kind of alluded to it a bit earlier about the median top lane, bot lane, insert Winthrop in their relegation team. Yeah, that's like part of my rationale here for mobility. I just think like when mobility like gets his mojo on in a game, he like really just completely warps
Yeah.
the entire game. Like this guy is like a 15 kill Jin game this split because he was just doing it crazy style. And his stats this split too are really just disgusting across the board when you think about comparing all of these current mid laners. When we talk about comparing all of these current bottom laners, like he's the top KD, he's like top in KDA. He's highest in CS numbers. Like his gold difference is top 3. It's a lot of really good laning stats too. I think he is, for me, the second best laning AD carry we have this split. He can really he's probably like so snowball dependent. And I do really believe that like if we didn't have mobility playing to this really high level that we're kind of getting just accustomed to with him, that Winthrop would have been in a lot more trouble this split. And that's why I think for me he earns that third spot.
Yeah, I have mobility first.
Holy fucking shit.
I think that's crazy, but I can't. I have to respect it somewhat.
It's a little high. I mean, I think it's clear to all of us who that puts second for me. But yeah, I don't know, dude. I think he had a really, really fucking strong split, dude. I think again, really hard to find a game where I don't think mobility played like up to standard. I think he was across the board really, really strong in his performances this split. Played alone a lot because Kim Down is one of those more roaming centric supports, spending a lot of time around the map, spending a lot of time trying to help out Denethor up at the top lane. I think Papa's in that same category as well. I think, yeah, I don't know, dude. I find very little to criticize with mobility. I think this guy's actually like really close to getting an LCS shot. I think we saw it at the beginning of the split with him getting to sub in on Dignitas. Like I think the GMs are starting to notice. I think this guy is is probably next up. He's not like a crazy hype next up like Sejed was, or Masu or anybody like that. But I think he's just been honing his game, getting better every split, and I think he's at the point now where he's just like the best in the league right now.
Wow.
That's fair. I mean,
respect it. I don't agree with it. But
I mean, I mobility is my 4th place guy.
Wow.
It's extremely close though.
I know.
Like,
I
have to preface this. AD carry was a very pleasant surprise for me this split. Like going into the split, we weren't really sure about Levitate's level. We weren't really sure about Cody Sun's level. There were some players that were question marks, right? And I feel like all of them ended up showing up. So that was really fun. Pleasant surprise, like I said. For me though, the reason why Levitate is 3rd is because I feel like this guy has a really interesting way that he just generally plays the game. He is up in gold a lot at 15 most of the time. So like, well, not a lot, but he's usually up in gold. I think is 3rd place in that regard. But then at the same time, if you look at like every somewhat like supportive stat for AD carry, like especially the vision game, Levitate is like constantly throwing down wards, constantly killing wards. He's got more of a facilitative role in the mid to late, but he's still dominant early on. And then he's still able to have relevancy in the damage department later on. So I feel like he's got some really fun strengths to kind of poke at that not a lot of other AD carries are able to necessarily have or aren't as prominent. So like Levitate's ability, I think, to just kind of fit whatever style the team needs him to be. Like if they need him to go damage, he's more than capable of doing that. He is pretty high in the damage departments. Like I believe Caitlyn is tied for his most picked, and then like Sivir at the same time is also his most picked. So these are 2 ADCs with like relatively different styles of play and attention being called to them early on. And the fact that Levitate can play both to the same amount of proficiency, I think speaks to how good he is. And I also do have to say, like, this doesn't actually factor into my rankings at all, but the fact that this guy has been like so on and off in terms of getting tier 2 shots is just a crime to me. Like he was again a question kind of for me going into the season, and he hasn't dropped the ball one bit. So like super cool to see that. Love Levitate, and I'm very happy that he's finding a team where the consistency can really shine through, and he's able to kind of do whatever the team needs him to.
Like that a lot. The Levitate's the homie for sure. I think what Levitate did best this split, in my mind, and it's a little recency pilled, his clicks and positioning in late game scenarios where he was playing like the clear win con for fighting, like on some of the Senna games, the Caitlyn games later on, he was really good about his positioning, and it's those moments where you could totally lose a series if you are not on point, especially when the team is full targeting you. Levitate was super impressive as a late.
His Senna game against Maraville was really good.
So good. That was great.
That was some fucking insane. That might have been the series that pushed me over for a lot of these Supernova guys, right? Like that series against Maraville probably converted me into putting a ton of these players in like top 3 for their roles. So
yeah,
Gordo, give me the Cody Sun pitch. That's what I want.
Yeah, I try. Well, first of all, yeah, I try to not be too recency biased by that series, but I also don't want to be like anti-recency biased by that series. It's
a balance.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I don't know. I think Cody Sun's like a really, really solid team fighting player. I think he's one of the better team fighting marksmen in the league. He is. Yeah, he just had a lot. There were a lot of fights. You brought it up, Slayer, that like there are a lot of games I think that CCG decides they don't want to win and just kind of chucks away. Like I think the classic CCG game pattern is like Dardoch gets them up like 2 to 3k gold through some nice early game plays, and then like Aojun or somebody makes a boneheaded decision and chucks that lead away, and then they end up having to play at like a parity state again. And sometimes it's a sick Dardoch engage or something like that. But sometimes and a lot of the time, I think it's just Cody Sun like clutching up on Lucian in these team fights and these skirmishes, like dancing around the fight, dodging skills, pumping out damage at a really high rate, and earning them the way back in. Like I think a lesser bot laner, I think, makes this CCG team have a much lower win rate, and then we're all just like whining on Dardoch's behalf about how like this guy cannot carry 5 bots or 4 bots.
Well,
not to demean the other CCG guys that hard, actually. My opinion on all of them is actually higher than that. But I do think, like, you know, there's bad play that in the mid to late game, I think they can often get covered by Cody Sun's reliability, really strong positioning, and like mechanical skill. I think he does a lot for them this year.
Yeah, I really resonate with the point that if Cody Sun isn't playing well, I think CCG do struggle a lot because obviously they need to rely on early success from mid and bot a lot. So it's a good shout.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear these second teams because I guess I know who's going to start popping up in here that I don't have.
All right, I'll go.
I mean, okay, go ahead.
I mean, I'll say who's second. It's the Terrified Terry. It's this, or wait, no, it's not Terrified Terry. It's Sushi. Sushi is
I was
second.
going to say, I figured you would have him first.
Yeah, I have Scary Jerry second team.
I have Scary Jerry second team as well. That's crazy, Slayer, but I'm excited to talk
about
it.
I have Sushi second.
Sushi's my first.
All right.
I think that... How do I even put this necessarily into words without spoiling a future category? I mean, okay, you know, I'll let the guy who put him first talk.
Oh, with Sushi? Yeah, sure. I think Sushi's year was definitely rocky. I think there were spots where he does get a bit too caught later in games, like and maybe doesn't respect the lack of mobility with some of his champions. I thought sometimes he could get punished on the Ashe a bit with the Ashe Seraphine lanes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I will admit that.
However,
the Caitlyn's too. However, I came away feeling like his laning was not the best in the league, but an improvement from last with Dorado. And then we still had those classic Sushi team fights that came a bit later on. So for me, I think Sushi was the most well-rounded AD carry of the split, personally.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Maybe I give like Levitate the best like late game scenarios like consistently. For me, Scary Jerry's the best laning AD carry by far. For me, Scary Jerry, we saw what we know about Scary Jerry once again crop back up. But if I'm factoring in all the things I know about my lovely position on the Rift, I think Sushi was the most consistent across all of them. So that's why for me he's the first team. I still need to see more from him. I think there were still some spots for improvement before we can. I'm not at the point where I'm like we were with Sajed, where it's like, yo, this guy's
Get him
next
on
and he should be
LCS.
next soon. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like I we need a big summer split here from Sushi, but I do think
I
he
think it's
made
in the
improvements
cards,
where
though.
we asked.
His
Yeah, I do.
trajectory is pointing there eventually, I think.
The biggest thing for me was he made the improvements on the area I want him to improve most on, and that's a positive sign.
Yep.
And we saw we still saw the pop off Sushi team fights. So for me, that's why he's first team. I absolutely respect people putting Scary Jerry first. I think he was
Yeah,
just a
he's my first.
dominant force in the lane as he always is, and just snowballs incredibly hard. I find it funny when Scary Jerry mobility match up because like it's usually lopsided because I think the way like they approach the game, both of them is very similar. And I just think this split, Scary Jerry did a bit better of a job with it than Levitate. Mobility, even if Scary Jerry definitely has like the UG buff, and
And the Obstinatus buff.
I'm declining to comment on support currently.
I will not speak.
Yeah, I'll comment on it briefly because I think Quax alluded to this already. Like, I think for both Scary Jerry and Sushi for me, who you will find below first team on both of on my list, I think both benefited a lot from the supports that they have with them. I do think Scary Jerry, you know, he is who we know he is, right? He is a very strong laning bot laner. I feel like it's real unlucky that his splits of LCS were with the team he was on. And while I didn't hate the pairing with Huhi, it's like I don't think Huhi at this point is like a lane dominant support either. I don't know. I think if Scary Jerry had like gotten to debut like this split versus the split that he did debut in, it would have been a lot better for him. Just because he would have gotten to play like, you know, a lot more Lucian lanes, a lot more like, you know, kind of aggressive enchantery lanes, you know, Lulu Yunara, stuff like that, I think would have been good for him. You know, I think being able to play a lot more Varus in like matchups where Varus can be really lane dominant would have been very good for him as well. Wasn't meant to be, wasn't how it worked out. But I still think a really strong split for him.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's very different styles coming through from both Sushi and Scary Jerry. It's just a matter of which one you think looked like which one of their strengths looked better, right? We talk about Sushi with his team fighting, and then we talk about Scary Jerry with his early game. I felt like Scary Jerry's early game was better than Sushi was with his team fighting. So that was kind of the big difference. Again, though, like I also do think, you know, you could make the argument of, oh, you know, Sushi has Zamudo on his team, has Kizno on his team. Well, okay, Scary Jerry also has Yuji and Spyrax on his team, right? So some people who are thinking in their head, it's a context, or you have to take it into the perspective of who their teammates are and, you know, getting carried by them. Neither of these guys are getting carried by their teammates. They belong at the level that their teammates are playing at. So I think that it is almost exclusively preferential on just who you think is better at their strongest point in the game. So makes 1 and 2 for me really close. And then I do think there is a bit of a divide between 1 and 2 and then like 3, because we were talking about it. Like all 3 of us had a different third 80 carry all pro. So, yeah, that's kind of how most of these roles have kind of shaken out so far. We've got like a pretty pronounced 1 and 2, and then third can be like an option between 3 different players, which is really fun, by the way. If multiple players are being considered for a position, like I think that speaks to the level of competition.
I love it. Marksman supremacy.
Of course you would say that.
Yep. Come on now.
There you go. All right. Not too crazy for a role that I thought might be all over the place. Let's get into support to round things out. Slayer, I guess would be up here.
Support. My third team support is Zyko.
Mine is also Zyko.
Mine is Zyko.
Ooh, the Zyko third team sweep.
Now I just think. Now I actually think that all of our. I think we're. Now I'm
We
convinced
might
we're all gonna have
be
the same.
we might be one for one for
same
We
one
wording.
across the
might
board.
also we might all
Yo,
be
do
on
we-
the same boat
Let's
here.
just talk about
Let's just do it. Let's
first.
just do it, guys.
No. Let's talk about Zyko first.
Okay.
Because it's so
Okay,
easy
alright.
now. Now you can just talk about Zyko. We can talk about them one at a time. It can be so clean for the edit.
All right, that's fair. That's fair for the edit.
Yeah. Assuming that I find time to go in and put all the player names above our heads here, I've got ACL tomorrow, and then it's like going to be time for the NACL playoffs to start. So
All right, man.
I might
Oh wait, no,
prioritize.
sorry. I meant Diomre as my third. My bad.
Good call. Good call. Yeah,
Dion Ray drinking apple.
listen. I'm
juice.
going to prioritize timeliness of the episode over the nice editing, but especially because the editing isn't even that nice. But anyway, Zyko. I think it's funny because third team All Pro. I think this was a disappointing split from Zyko. I think my standards
yeah.
for this guy are higher.
Yes.
I would have hoped that he comes in and remains like among the best supports in the league. I was not super high on Obstinatus. I think the position is relatively weak. Like we're missing Manui. We're missing no next round for Mixture.
No Diamond.
No
none of
Zazel,
that.
Diamond floating
no
around anymore.
Zazel. Like I think this was the opportunity for Zyko to like come in and be like hard the best support in the league. And I think he just like wasn't quite that. He still has a support. He still has a playoff run to do it. Like I think Supernova could make a strong playoff run if like he and Levitate play the way that they played in that Maryville series throughout playoffs. I think this team is gonna do great.
To the moon.
But that was
Yeah.
not the form that they were in all season long. He gave me hope in that last series, though. I hope he maintains that form. And frankly, even this lesser version of Zyko is still the third best support in the league. We're still in search of stars at this position in NACL.
Yeah, I personally attribute a lot of Supernova's late rise of the split to Zyko kind of at the end there, getting back to form that makes him in contention for best support. So that's what earned him the third
he's
team for
getting
me. There were some names that I was thinking about for third team, but no, Zyko. I also appreciate his ability to adapt it with the meta as well. I thought it was clear to me that he was putting reps into Anivia. In that series, in these latest series, so that really showed out because I still believe that Anivia is the most OP champion on the entire patch, mainly because you can play it in all these lanes, and it's cool. It's cool to see that Zyko is.
That's an interesting take, actually.
I think it's. I do think it can get countered by certain comps, but every time I see it, it's just disgusting.
No, Anivia is kind of hard to counter usually. I don't know. That would be a really fun rabbit hole to go down, but probably not. Probably for another day. But that is an interesting take. That's where I'll leave it.
Maybe we'll have the discussion on a cast together, Quax. We can do it there. With talking about
Bro, you're too good for me now, man. Like you're an
NACL. Shut your stupid face up, man. I don't want to hear this. All right, Quax, why did you like Zyko third team? Quickly, you can
basically all the points that you said. I mean, I will say. Yeah, we're really balancing it out. I will say, like, do want to put emphasis on, I think that Zyko had the opportunity to kind of just take the support role by the balls and be the best. And it is a little bit disappointing that he wasn't. I also think that Zyko generally looks better on engagers. And unfortunately, he doesn't get that opportunity a ton of the time this split. Like Nautilus is really the only initiation jungler that you have. Like Nautilus and like half of Nico is like really all you've got for initiation junglers, right? So I feel like this is just a meta that doesn't suit him. Right, I think that it's basically exclusively enchanters that are kind of flavorful at the current moment, and he just doesn't feel as he just doesn't look as comfortable on them as he does, the Rel, the Nautilus meta, the Leona meta. Like this is a guy who I think has always been better on those champions. It's part of the reason why he's for the longest time been so good with Scary Jerry, because Scary Jerry will be like, oh, you want to go in? You want to engage? Fuck yeah, let's fucking go. So does kind of break that up a little bit. I do think that Levitate has done a good job at shoring up at times the fact that Zyko can't be perma-skirmishing in the 2v2s with those like more aggressive support picks, but still is a little bit it's a little bit smudged that he's not able to dominate the role like I was kind of hoping he would this split.
Yeah.
Still really good though. I have to put that in there. Like it feels like I'm shitting on him a little too much. He is still a very good support for all of the reasons that Gordo and Slayer listed.
Yeah. Now I wonder if this second team is going to be the sweep or not. Maybe we'll have some difference between our first and our second. I have Obstinatus second.
Damn it, Gordo.
Yep.
I speak a second. Oh.
I also have I have Obstinatus.
Ah, man. You know what? I respect it, guys.
All right, and then you assume Obstinatus.
I have
first Slayer,
I have
and then we
Obstinatus.
assume-
Again,
Obstinatus
it's
is the
close
best
as fuck. Again, 1 and 2.
I think this is 1A, 1B. I think this is
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's
yeah.
insane.
I agree.
Go
ahead.
I'll make a quick point on Spica, and then I'll let you guys go. Spica, my friend, I respect the hell out of you, man. You could have came into playing support and be like, yeah, I'm just going to autopilot. It's an enchanter meta. Sure, dude. I can learn how to play Karma. I can play Seraphine. Lulu? Can't be that. No. This guy put insane... there's no other way to understand his champion pool besides the fact that he put in crazy reps playing support, right? What is this? Is this 12 unique supports he's played?
Yeah, he's got a champ Ocean. You know what's really funny, too? When NRG were like... When they released the
13.
The introduction video for the Energy squad, it was like Parth and Spica had like a sit down, and Parth was like, yeah, we went to lunch or dinner one time, and Spica said that he could hit Challenger and support in like no time at all, and then Parth was like, okay, then do it, and then he did in like 3 weeks or something like that. So Spica's a grinder. I think he's adapted to the role extremely well. I do, however, think that because of the experience of Spica and just having that, previous tier 1 rep and being around players who have been supports, who have, been in the LCS, like he is able to, I think, have a little bit more of a clear knowledge check over a lot of just other players, period, in the North American ecosystem. And the fact that he's getting challenged by Obstinatus, who doesn't have that same level of XP, is why I put Obby first.
So you've Obstinatus first with me? Or...
is that... Oh wait, no, I have Spica first.
Okay.
Okay, I confused myself. Yeah. His experience is what carries him over, is what I'm trying to say. All right, I messed up my point slightly. Fuck.
No, it's okay. I just... We're helping you stick the landing.
Yeah, to finish on Spica, I mean, like this... I think the craziest thing about this split for Spica is I get the sense that his engagers are better. Like, when he busted out the Rel early in the season, I thought that was really freaking good. I think his Nautilus games, when they've come through here and there, have been among his best of the season. Like, I actually think this guy is... Similarly to like what we were saying for Zyko, like I think he is playing with training weights on in Enchanter meta, and I think if we shift back to like Engager meta, I think he will look even better.
Well, they are nerfing Dream. They're nerfing Dreammaker. They're nerfing Elia. They're buffing Aftershock. So who knows?
I think it's likely. I think it's like getting a little bit like, all right, guys, everybody's getting
sick
bored
of this shit.
the same 3 enchanters every game.
I don't want them to. I'm fine with slight tweaks, but my argument, slight tweaks. We are nearly at the point where I've been the most satisfied with support meta in maybe my entire life. Like we're pretty close. I think support meta is the most wide open we've seen in a very long time.
Yeah,
I think that's totally wrong. I'm gonna push back on that, dude. Support.
No.
Support picks are entirely dependent on what duo you can get. Like we've got the four horsemen of the apocalypse. We've got Corky Nami, we've got Yanara Lulu.
I think we're breaking away from that.
Ash Seraphine, and now we've got the new kids on the block, Lucian Melio.
I think people are mixing and matching a little bit more.
I think it's a lot more mixing.
Before we get too far away from the quote, I gotta take my foot out of my mouth here. Spica did not play Nautilus. I'm thinking about Alistair.
Alistair.
But Alistair's been crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what the changes look like if they happen. It would not surprise me though if Riot tries to push enchanters a little bit back more into, or into the dirt and pull up
I'm fine
the
with pushing them.
engagers.
I'm fine with them pushing them back a little bit, but I do think like if we tweak a tiny bit more buffs for those tank supports, we will be at like the best support meta spot I think I personally have ever seen it. But that's a tangent for another day. I'd like to pivot to Obstinatus for a second here.
Yeah.
This guy, if you can only watch him play one champion, loyal viewers, go watch his Bard games. This guy,
Yeah.
you could if you drop nameplates, I might watch some of these Bard games and be like, yo, is that Kyle? Is that maybe not Carrier? Okay, listen, maybe not Carrier. But we're close, dude. His Bard games are gross. This guy is like so good on the Bard, but then he also can play like he's picked up a couple of these tank games himself too. Like he has some Nautilus behind him. He actually only has one Nautilus game, so I'm pulling a Gordo here. But his laning,
The Phantom,
is right.
dude, the Nautilus that doesn't exist is the most impressive.
He does have one
I
Nautilus
don't know
game.
why.
It's
I don't know why
a loss,
we're all
so
hallucinating good Nautilus games out of these players, but
I think he complements Scary J. Like to come in to a whole new country, and change a lot of your life, and then step in with an AD carry that is very clearly saying we are playing aggro, and we will die by that, right? And to pick it up so seamlessly with a lot of these enchanters is really impressive. The Bard games are by far the single most his Bard games are the most warped I've seen a support affect a single game in the NACL across this entire split. He's 4-0 on the Bard, by the way. He hasn't lost a Bard game.
I think the most controversial thing about Obstinatus is how you pronounce his name. Remember at the beginning of the split where we had no idea how it was supposed to be pronounced?
I kind of like Obstinatus better still, but whatever.
Yeah, that's not how I pronounce it. Like it's
Obstinatus.
Dude, I feel like people mess it up more than they mess up like Momdami or some shit like that. Like it's that bad, bro.
I have not messed it up once. I will go on record with
I've
that.
not messed it up in a while, so I hope he's proud of me.
Impressive
his
split from
playmaking with Bard and Nico is really good. My final point.
Really impressive split from Obstinatus. This is a guy when he first came in over like the off season. He was playing with Ole Miss for a bit, and then he switched over to MU, and he was playing with MU in D1. And I had been saying and said coming into the season that like I've been underwhelmed by this guy so far. Everybody is so hyped for him.
Same.
But every time I have seen him on the Rift in comp, he has been disappointing. I'm sure his scrims are good. I'm sure his solo queue is good because I keep hearing all the hype, but it was not converting for me for his first few months here. It has converted on the NACL stage for sure. He looks very, very good. Obviously, we talked about how Jerry and he are the most lane-dominant duo in the league. He has slotted right in, plays with Jerry's style very, very well. I am curious. I will be curious as time goes on. I mean, maybe it'll just be him and Jerry as the duo for coming into 27 and beyond. But I wonder how much of this is how Obstinatus plays, and how much of this is him, adjusting to Jerry and just playing to what Jerry does best.
That's the big question. Yeah.
If he could play other styles too, I'm not sure.
Summer is going to be a lot of fun. I feel like some of these players who kind of got introduced, not necessarily rookies, because Obstinatus is not a rookie. But like now that they're kind of in the zone, like summer is going to be a ton of fun to see some of these players that we're waiting for them to hit their stride or just have like a bigger sample size. Like we'll get that. Very exciting.
All right. Let's try to finish up by 1 a.m. Quax and I's time. Let's jam our additional peripheral awards, whatever you would call them.
Our triple awards, yeah.
Yeah.
Rookie, most improved MVP.
That's the order way I think we should go in, by the way.
Okay, let's go in that order.
So too.
All right. Start with Rookie of the Split. I have 3. I have 3 for all of these two. Do you guys have 3 or?
I have 1.
I have my who I'd award it to, but I do have like
yeah. Like
okay.
I have like honorable mentions for
all
sure.
All right, well I'll give my 3, and then if you guys want to just like pop in as an honorable mention or whatever, we could do that. For Rookie of the Split, so there have to be splits for this for me. I am a fan of the rookie definition. I know there's been discourse about this. I am of the opinion that like when we have ERL players come to NACL, the cleanest cut for who is a rookie and who isn't is have they made EU Masters or not, or EMEA Masters as it's now called. The reason that I believe this is because the ERLs are huge. There are so many leagues. They have legitimately almost like 100 teams. I think it's like I've done the count before. It's like 96 teams or something in the ERLs. So like it doesn't make any sense to me to say like Korea, the best League of Legends player producing region in the world, has 50 tier 2 players and Europe has 500. Like that just making the distinction between tier 2 and tier 3, that distinction is like totally meaningless if you're going to say there's 500 tier 2 players in the EU. So you need to like, in my opinion, you need to like trim them down and allow guys who have played some ERLs to still be considered rookies when they come to a 50 player tier 2 region like NACL. So that's my opinion. So by that definition, Obstinatus would be a rookie. I understand, though, he has like a storied ERL career and has been like a relevant player in some of the better ERL leagues for a while. So I understand why that makes some people not want to count Obstinatus as a rookie. So keeping to my rules, he counts, and therefore he obviously wins. I'm willing to just kind of set that aside because I know you two aren't counting him. And we could just discuss the rest, assuming Obstinatus isn't allowed. But I think we would all agree, if he is allowed, if you agree with my logic, it's Obstinatus.
Yeah, if
number one,
Obstinatus
easy
was
peasy.
allowed, he would easily get the award.
Yeah,
he would. Yeah,
it's Obstinatus number one, easy peasy. That aside, discounting Obstinatus, going into that world, my number 3 is Papa, actually.
Hey, Gordo, that we were talking about the same guy earlier.
Nice.
That would be my third guy too. I think Papa had a sneaky, really good split.
Nice.
For a
I thought you were
Yeah,
going to
no,
try to
Papa had
sneak
a good
0 in
split.
there.
No,
Okay.
I did not sneak 0 in there. So really quickly on the point of, I will say this is, I guess that
Yeah, you can respond to my. I didn't mean to railroad your.
No, you're fine.
Argument.
When it comes to the broadcast talent for NACL, we are not treating Obstinatus as a rookie. It is off some of the logic Gordo put, but also looking back at like past examples, like the precedent that was set, only 35 was never put into the rookie pool last year for a similar reason.
Was Ariana?
Ariana also was not put into the rookie pool.
Okay.
For a similar reason. So it's kind of at this point now on that side of things, it's following the precedent.
Yeah, fair.
That's been set.
I mean,
So,
in that case, it totally is. On this show, I'm pretty sure we gave Ariana an award.
Yeah. So okay. So we could do that. We could do it that way, right? We could be the Salt Mine rookie. The rookie parameters means Obstinatus is the rookie, but knowing everything we've talked about, I guess I'll just jump to my top guy. I think there are 2 options for rookie of the split that.
Oh, sorry.
Really
Yeah, my
make a lot
number
of
3
sense.
was Papa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
your number
we
3
can
is
work
Papa.
our way up to number 1.
My number 2, Gordo, would be Redemption.
Okay, so you, I have Redemption number 1 actually. I ended up giving it
I respect
to him.
that. I'm giving it to Fiji though. Fiji is my rookie of the split.
Fiji's my number 2.
Same.
You giving it to Fiji, Quax?
I am also giving it to Fiji. Yeah. I think that you have to take into the context of what we were saying at the beginning of the split, right? Like when we did our inaugural power rankings of the spring split in 2026, we looked at the CCG roster. Our biggest concern was Fiji. We were like, okay, you've got this guy who only plays tanks, who has a Scion and an Ornn and like a singed pocket pick. Yep. And doesn't really veer outside of that. So if it comes down to him needing to branch out, what exactly are we in store for? Right? Because we don't know what happens if he is put on more like resource heavy carries. I do think that this is a slight fault of the other NACL teams. And maybe we will look silly if the best of 5s expose this champion pool issue. But no team at any point, basically, in the NACL ever kind of pushed Fiji around with his pool at least enough, in my opinion. And he was basically allowed to play his style, and his style was fucking good. This guy was so amazing at absorbing pressure, was so good at being relevant in the late game fights. There are so many late game team fights where I was just amazed at Fiji's positioning. Like for a rookie, this guy always was in the right place at the right time. And he's my clear rookie. I think that Redemption is a really good shout. Thought he had a surprisingly good split. And like this was a guy we had been hyping up in tier 3, so him being able to make that jump. However big you think the gap is between tier 2 and tier 3, most rookies aren't able to kind of get over that in one split. And I think that Redemption and Fiji both managed to do that. But Fiji did it his way. He did it with his style, and we were concerned about that style. So he shut us up while doing really well at the same time. That deserves Rookie of the Split, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think, yeah, definitely, like, this is definitely not what my list looked like at the midway point of the split. Like, I'll say that much. Like, I think over time, like, Redemption has climbed and Munchie has fallen. And this is just kind of how they end up as a result of that. And Zero stopped getting games. That that also had an impact. If Zero plays 50% of the games instead of 30% of the games, maybe that looks different as well. But they just kind of stopped letting him play. On Fiji, like I love Fiji. Don't get me wrong, both as a guy and as a player. I do think I think the narrative is starting to give him a little bit too much grace because of the style he plays. Like
you're probably right.
Yeah, like at the
yes,
he is a weak side. He's the weak side king. But like as Quax brings up, right? Like nobody really challenges his pool. Like he gets to play his Ornn consistently. He gets to play his Scion consistently. Like he gets onto his best champions all the time, and he's the worst laner in the league. Like he's down the most, other than maybe Decoy.
But he's still impactful.
Yeah. I agree.
That's
he's still
the big
impactful.
thing.
Like he's still, and that's the nature of the champions he plays. Is that he he rolls up and can be impactful on low impact, but like he falls behind to everybody. Gets solo killed a fair amount. His ability to I think back to the Singed game where he roamed mid, but like his ability to actually go and impact other lanes in the early games is limited. His ability to support Dardoch and invades and things like that is limited. And at the end of the day, when he runs into one of my all-pro top laners, when he runs into Zamudo, when he runs into K, when he runs into even Sniper, he gets clapped. And he
does not die a lot, though.
Those are the series that CCG loses.
No, he does not die a lot, though. He's got the second least deaths on average of any top laner, and the least is Crimson, who hasn't even played all of the games. Like he's played 4 matches.
That's not ISO deaths though. That's total deaths, right? I don't know the ISO deaths number, but I would think it's higher.
It is.
It probably is, but like I do think that your deaths point is a little bit overblown. Like he's still not dying a lot. He's still not giving over.
I think he dies less than I expected him to. I think he still dies too much. But this is vibes though. I mean, like you're welcome to disagree. I don't have the numbers.
I also
will respectfully disagree.
Yeah, I also think like Redemption is a great pick. I was very impressed.
And then to get back to Redemption, like Redemption rose with the back half of the split. Like I think by the end here, like I wonder. If there was like a second round robin or something, I wonder how high Dorado could finish, because I think they now have they now have some momentum. Like I think their bot lane has like evolved into being an actual threat. I'm excited for them in summer.
Yeah,
it would be awesome if they could make like an upgrade or two. I don't know exactly what those upgrades would be. I would listen, man. No hate to Decoy. It would be awesome if this team could get like a Cozy or a Barrack or something, like one of those.
What about Philip?
Yeah, Philip would. Philip feels like above and beyond. Like I feel like Philip wouldn't.
Well, hang on. Philip is on an OQ team. Dude. We're not going to be able to get to it in this video. I hope we make.
But
I
feel like Philip's on an OQ
this.
team because he won't play for Dorado Gaming.
I know, but like,
That's
I really want
fair
us to make a video about OQs and promotion tournament before that all concludes.
We'll make a promotion tournament video.
We're gonna make a promotion tournament video with a guest. No spoils. A guest that is unfortunately not Sneezes. Okay, I'll say that because we usually have Sneezes.
Can't have Sneezes. He's in the tournament.
He's in the tournament. So we will have a guest though. Quax, if you don't know who it is, I'll tell you after. But
I know who it is.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Let's keep moving though, because I think Fiji and Redemption are two great shouts for different reasons, and I think it's like personal preference. Also, I'm glad Quax made the Fiji points because I've been yapping about Fiji a lot, so I'll just let
favorite
that
water
settle.
brand, by the way. I'm just putting that out there. Like fucking Ice Mountain
Dude,
sucks.
that shit is so
Dasani
expensive.
sucks. Fuck you,
Dasani tastes like it just makes me
dude.
thirsty.
Dasani
I'm
tastes
not
like
a bottled
ass.
water guy in general. I'm not like here to vouch for Dasani. Don't get me
No. Bottled water isn't great, but Fiji is. Fiji
not
water
the
is
best,
great.
bro.
Bullshit. It is.
Avion or Alvion, whatever the one from the Swiss Alps. That one.
You
It's like
don't even know how to pronounce it. How can it be the best?
Because it is, dude. It's elite every time we get at the airport.
Most
All right,
improved.
most improved.
Most improved. Oh yeah. Should I give all
I think
three?
this is-
Do you guys want to give your number ones first? What's
I'm
the
just
best way
gonna
to
give
do
my
this?
number one.
Give your
yeah.
number one
Quax, give your
first.
number one. You go for
It's
first, Quax.
from this split to last split. It's sushi.
Not even on my list.
Not even on your list. He's my number 3.
Wow.
I think the easy number one, because Slayer and I were playing the pronoun game with this earlier. We were just like,
We
mine
were.
is.
We were.
I think mine is easy to pick. All that stuff. I assume you have 5 mini. I have 5 mini.
Yes, I think 5 Mini is clearly the most improved player to me.
To be fair, by Quax's standard, last split to this split, 5 mini wasn't playing last split, so he's kind of DQ'd that way.
Last year to this year. Okay, there we go.
Sure. Yeah, I think 5 mini's I think 5 mini's like almost like a layup pick.
I do too.
Yeah, I don't. Obviously, for Slayer, who has a first team All Pro, I don't have him that high, but I do think he's significantly better than the last time we saw him. He's on a better team. He's obviously, but he's his one-on-one laning is so improved. He looks great.
The only other name I want to shout out, or actually, I had 2 other names. My third place was actually Low Jazz. I thought this was the best split.
Ooh, that's a
in the
good one.
jungle
I
from
didn't
Low
have
Jazz.
him, but I get that.
But the one I want to spend time talking about, because if you're somehow tuning into the most improved player and you missed me talking about 5 Mini for first team All Pro, just go the fuck back. I'm not going to rehash the same things I said. Only 35 also deserves a shout on this list, in my opinion. Everybody came into the split being like, all right, we're an Enchanter meta, and this guy's the psychotic engage player. He's screwed, bro. He's going to die on 5 bajillion warding missions. The dude plays a nasty Nami. The guy plays Enchanters well. He did not get bodied by the meta. And he was also as much of a part why I think Cody's son and him were successful as a bottom lane for CCG. So I think he deserves some serious props for most improved player, even if I don't think I'll give the award to him. I also think he was at points, if Zyko didn't have such a good end of the split, he was in contention for my third team All-Pro support. So
he definitely was up there for me as well. I feel awful that I haven't put only 35 in any of my awards, because I absolutely love this guy. Only 35.
You know what period of
is
time where I
gem.
thought only 35 was going to be number 3 support, and then Zyko turned his season around last.
Yes,
Yeah.
3 weeks
Like
ago,
last
I thought
second.
I was going to have only 35 in third.
You know what? Here we go, guys. I'm going to take the ball. I'm going to take the rock on this one. New Salt Mine Award coming to your ways. It's the Vibes Award.
Best content.
Only 35.
vibe.
Yeah, content vibes. Only 35 wins the content award. How about that?
I might
he
give
wins
it
the
to
content.
Shochi, honestly.
I know. Shochi, Shochi too. It might be dude. Player cams, man. I mean,
Dude,
only 35 had good player
Dude,
cams.
by the way,
I would have given it
so
Shochi.
unfairly bombed. I'm gonna give it a shout
Well,
out.
then what
right
about
here.
Henrique Damore? He also had a shower video.
He did, but Shochi originated the shower meta. First of all, second of all,
Bro.
Bach put out a Naruto edit about Shochi before their last match on the final day. It got like 18 likes, dude. That shit got under respected. It was so fucking
I don't even
funny.
think I saw that thing.
It
Not
was
bad.
so fucking funny. You gotta go check it out. It's so funny.
The Shochi shower vid is great, but nothing in this split will ever top only 35 printing out the dumb SpongeBob meme that Citadel made about
I know.
winning a game,
for
and then
content, we wanna
showing
give
the
vibes
fucking
over to
PNG,
Citadel.
and then going fucking That was the
That is
best.
very
That was the
funny.
best.
I know, dude. He's awesome. Only 35. If you listen to the podcast, I think he does. We love you, man. Like, you're awesome.
We
that's all,
adore
yeah.
you. Yes, we do
Yeah,
adore you.
you're amazing.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Most important award of all.
Sorry. By
horse
the way,
race.
I like those shouts from Slayer. My second was music. For most.
Oh shit, we're
improved.
not done. My bad.
Yeah, he's quite old to be winning this award. But I thought he had a terrible 2025. So huge bounce back for music. We don't
Fair
do
shout.
comeback player.
It's
of the
been kind
year.
of weird. His 2024 was amazing. His 2025 was kind of down, and then now
Yeah.
I think his
Again,
2026
I think I
coming up,
called
which is
this
great.
out. I don't remember when I called this out last, but like it was. Remember when Quest put out that poll about like who's next up for LCS or whatever?
Yup, I remember
like
that.
in the 2024 to
yeah.
2025 off season, he like polled a bunch of people, and like
Yep.
almost everybody at the top of that list, by the way, has like gone pro or gotten some kind of major opportunity now. By the way, it was like Toasty, Cryogen.
Kryra.
Sajed was up there, Kryra was up there, Kizna was up there. It was very predictive. It actually ended up being wisdom of the masses and such. Like it ended up actually being a very predictive list. But like number 6 or 7 was music. Like it was
Fucking goddamn it,
I didn't
Gordo.
mean to do that, man. Slayer's on it though, dude.
Those are the
Like
best
I was looking at something in my notes, and then as soon as you said that, I had to look directly at you. You dumbass.
Damn it! All right. He was really high up on that list, though. Like people were. That's just to emphasize the point. People were really high on music. They thought he was like. Next up was always a hard call because it was like he would have been like the oldest player to debut as a rookie ever. Yeah, I don't know. He's back on form. He looks back like he did in 2024 with Blue Otter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good for him.
That's a great shout.
Yeah. There's no comeback
I'd
player
be-
for the year award here in NACL, and even the NFL one, like the league is like actively asking people to be like, we don't want them to come back from sucking. We want them to come back from being injured.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's no award for it, but this is where I'm sticking it.
I would be really curious if I could chat with music about 2025 because I still hold the opinion that he was probably setting himself up for a huge year with ISU, like joined that program. Like that was like such a
I buy that
spearhead
narrative.
of his year, and then like all the tragedy happened with that. I'm sure that did not help his mental or like his, passion for all this stuff.
That's a good point, actually. That
I don't know if
I
that's
think-
what it was.
Yeah, I
but,
think we said that
I'm
preseason.
curious.
Like music has never expressed that, but if he did, I would buy it instantly. Yeah.
yeah.
well, now he's on Maryville. Vibes are great.
It was so funny, by the way, when Supernova beat Maryville, because like he's literally in the facility. He's literally in the
He's like
facility
right
with
next to
these
them.
teams.
Yeah.
They're gonna
and, and
like
someone goes
locker
over
room.
to like
He's
pat his
got,
back.
he just gets like jumped
Yeah,
in the
just
locker room by his teammates that he absolutely fucked up. Like
It's kind of aura, can't lie.
He's feeding bombs to his team. Got
Alright.
awards,
no screen
in the
screen
red
peeping
buff
allowed
right
kind
now.
of shit.
All right, let's get MVP.
They're sneaky Baron. They're sneaky Baron.
All right, let's get to MVP. I have 3 here as well. But whatever, we can go to first.
I have 2. I think it's a 2-horse race.
Yeah, it's a 2-horse race. I agree. You know what? Fuck third. I'm just deleting it. It's not even worth it.
Okay, well, who was your third now?
It doesn't matter.
No
He's
one will ever
deleted.
know. He's deleted.
It doesn't matter. It's deleted. It's 2-horse race. It's unfair to the other two to even talk about it.
I put Zamudo. If you put UG, fair enough, man. I don't know.
I put UG.
That's okay. Cool. Again,
tiebreak?
Rehab. Yeah, I think he put Zamudo. I think he said it earlier.
I put Zamudo.
Oh, sorry. I
Needs
missed
to
it.
be in
Okay.
the LCS. If he was in the LCS, he'd be a top laner.
I think either of them would. Well, I mean, it actually might be pretty hard for UG to be a top half jungler.
I don't know. I
Jungle
really
is
do
way
wonder,
more
I
stacked
don't
in the
think
fucking-
UG got a fair shake. Like I think UG clearly
No,
came
he
into like a
didn't.
dysfunctional team and was like trying to be a
No.
bandage. Like I don't think.
Yeah, I
Like,
just think it's
That last video from TL where they were Spawn where they lost and then Spawn was like, "All right, guys, these last couple of months have been really unhealthy for us dynamic wise. please give a thank you to Yuji for working through that. Like, I mean,
Yeah, for
that's
coming
all
in
I
the middle of
need.
the shitstorm.
That's
Yeah.
all I need to fucking know. Like, he's literally like, this is like when you go into like foster care, you get adopted by a family, but then like the husband and wife are just like always fucking fighting, so that you're just like, I hate this shit.
You were
Okay.
supposed to.
Relatable.
You were supposed to
No,
fix
no,
this
I-
relationship, Yuji, and you didn't do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's like the what's the term? It's you don't have to do with foster care. It's like the oh god, this is getting kind of dark. Isn't it like the you have like a baby to save? There's a term for this where you have a child
I
to like
can't
save
think
a
of
marriage.
the term for it, but
There's a term for it. But yeah,
Okay.
there's a term for it.
I just always think of the meme that it's like people always try this and it never because this is the subject that meme is based on. This is like what the in Curb Your Enthusiasm or whatever, where they're like it never works. People try to have a kid to save their relationship and it doesn't work. It could never
never
work. It
works.
would
Okay,
never
this
work.
shit-
But maybe it could work
I-
for us.
Here's a life lesson to all you folks watching the Salt Mine. If you have if your marriage is not going well, for the love of God, do not procreate. I swear to God, just please don't procreate.
Yeah, there's your
I gotta
that's
be
your
real.
advice for the that's your advice.
That's my
for
life.
the-
That's Slayer's life advice.
That's the
hour and
sage
45 minutes in.
NACL caster wisdom. Yep. You can tell it's getting fucking late when we're talking like this, by the way.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
this
I'm
is
making
unfo-
I'm like failing on like foster care analogies. Like
No, it made sense.
No,
I
it
was
made sense. It made sense.
It
I
made
do
sense.
think I agree with Slayer. I think most people try to have their own children to save failing marriages. I think it's less common to adopt a child to save your failing marriage. But I guess if
It's the
there's-
same principle.
If
Maybe
there's
I've watched
fertility
too much
issues or
Queen's
something, you
Gambit.
gotta. If there's fertility issues, but you still have a failing relationship, go ahead.
Yo, Gordo, how much?
are we
Gordo,
keeping
how funny?
this in the
Gor-
video?
no
Yeah, we are. We
idea.
are. No, we have to keep this. We are keeping this. But how funny would it be if Gordo clips this part and puts it as the
intro. Yeah. It's like,
So everyone just sees the header. It's like Salt Mine All Pro teams, and then it's just like
and
it's just
Salt
me
Mine
saying
relationship advice at the end.
It's like Salt Mine Pro teams. You can see this episode. That the clip is just me going. Salt Mine fans, here's some life advice. Do not procreate if your marriage is
Actually,
failing.
so funny. I might do that now. That's a
like
good idea.
my vote also goes to like the Mom Dami joke that I made about obstinatus.
That too.
That was funny too. Yeah, I don't really have much to say again on either Zamuto or Yuji because everything we already said with their first team All Pro selection. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
get Zamuto and Yuji
Get them
tier
both
1
in
so I
the
can stop
LCS.
giving them most valuable.
Yeah,
prospect,
no, I mean
please.
these are
Thank
the
you very
two.
much.
Yeah, these are the two obvious should be in the LCS players. And we talked about. You can tell because these are the two players where instead of talking about anything they did this split, we talked about what extenuating circumstances are keeping them out of tier 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be the whole story. All right, that's a quick hour 45. That's not bad for an all-star episode. So thank you all for tuning in. Tune into the NACL playoffs. They're kicking off on Wednesday, right, Slayer? Or is it Thursday?
Yes, Wednesday. No, I believe it is Wednesday.
Cool. So that'll be fun. That'll be a fun few weeks. ACL playoffs are ongoing. The Monday game will have already been played probably by the time this drops, but there'll be more on Friday. And actually, we're on break after Monday, I think, Quax. I think we're on Memorial
we
Day
are.
break.
And then OQs is also happening.
OQs
Just,
is
like,
also happening. They do
throwing that
not
out
get
there.
a Memorial Day break.
They do not. A lot of League of Legends. If you're a fan of watching Lagondo Lagoons, the video game,
LPL playoffs are about to start.
This is a hell of a time to be alive.
Is this
Yep.
weekend? Yep.
Yeah. CBL playoffs are CBL playoffs underway? I don't know.
I don't
Check
pay
out
attention to
CBL English.
CBL.
TDS is on that one. Those are also going on. If they listen to us, maybe some of our favorite players will be over there soon enough.
True.
Yeah, lots of League of Legends. So stay tuned to all of it. Stay tuned here. We will be back with playoffs episodes and promo tournament episodes and things of that nature as the weeks go on. But until then, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time.